Was his hair like that for continuity? Or did he tuck it behind his ears like a middle-aged
3,
woman?
2, like a middle-aged woman. Hey!
Welcome, everybody, to another Jesus on Display podcast. It is also audio and video today.
It is.
And if you're looking, you're seeing two guys here, Johnny Brush
Yeah, that's one of them.
and Max Rexman.
And Max
here.
Rexman
That's
is over
right.
here. Matt, before we start, I have to ask,
Yeah.
what are you wearing there?
Well, I thought you would be, as you are 98.7% of the year, going to be wearing your black shirt. And so I thought I'll match him in black and it'll be nice. And today you're wearing Easter colored.
I'm wearing Easter. This
Henley.
is my Easter Henley because we're a little behind on laundry. What are you wearing on your wrist there?
Oh.
Are you Iron Man?
It's just a fashion statement. I just needed. I don't do tattoos or anything. I just
You
thought,
do roller
how
derby
can I
now?
accent my body in a little bit? So, no, I was saved a child from a pack of wild dogs.
None of what you're saying is true.
I got nipped a little
All
bit.
of this is lies.
I'm getting old, everybody, and everything in life is about clicking, mousing, typing, pianoing, catching the ball at baseball coaching.
Rubbing your kids' shoulders.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah. So it's just a little sore. I think it's
It's okay.
tendonitis.
I think it's a good
I don't want
look.
to say the words carpal tunnel, but we hope not.
It looks like you're going to be in an MMA fight.
I'm sorry if it's distracting. but
Anyway, Matt, what kind of things do we talk about here on the Jesus on Display podcast?
this podcast, if you haven't joined us before, it has a lot of different things. It has condensed sermons down to I think 20 minutes. Is that right?
I think that's right.
The main points down
Yeah.
to 20 minutes. It's got encouragement for your daily commute, a great little time segment as you drive somewhere, discussions on the power of storytelling and what they mean in our lives. Excellent stories of grace from our people. And then this one today is called a Quarterly Church Update.
Yep.
Quarterly
Church update.
Yeah. You've seen a few of those with myself and Mr. Jason Malone, and he came down with the crud.
Yeah.
So he
Nasty,
was
scratchy
coughing a
throat.
lot.
It's gross.
And thank you for stepping in. I know that you will be excellent.
I'm not going to do a Jason Malone impersonation. I was going to try, but it could go anywhere.
Is there an
And,
easy?
Yeah.
I
don't
don't
know.
think there is an easy one. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
And there's things that probably only Jason knows in these pages that we'll just make up as we get
We'll
there.
make
right?
it up and we'll
No.
present it as fact.
We won't do that.
No. Are you ready to jump in?
Feel better soon, Jason.
Yeah. Feel
I
better.
am ready to jump in.
All right, let's
start.
go.
The first thing we want to celebrate together is some of the ways that you guys have been generous in our church.
Incredible generosity.
If you missed
Over the
the update from Charlie, I think a few weeks ago, he talked about our first fruits, which we did through January. Basically, the concept of if you can give more of your pledge towards Adams Mill up front of the
Right,
year,
yeah.
first fruits off the top, then it really helps to reduce interest as you borrow from the bank for construction loans.
Right.
Starts to get down into
Yeah.
amortization, all
Stuff that
these
we
things.
understand really well, but we don't want to bore you
Exactly.
with. Also,
So-
for those of you who brought real baskets of fruit to the church, you
You didn't
grossly misunderstood what we were talking
didn't
about.
understand.
That didn't actually happen.
But we do want to. This is a huge deal. We wanted to celebrate
Huge deal.
that the first fruits offering was $3.2 million,
Oh my word.
and that's amazing. And we thank you guys for
Incredible.
your generosity.
And I want to say something about this, just from our perspective as we look out and see how generous you guys are. The feeling is that it's done with extreme cheer and willingness. It doesn't feel like it's under compulsion. So I don't know. When I think about how generous you guys are, it just brings a smile to my face. I'm sure it brings a smile to the Lord's face. I think you guys are doing it the way that it should be done. So
Absolutely.
props to you guys. It's really, really awesome.
So if you're listening to this and maybe you haven't had a chance to jump into the Adams Mill Pledge, you're just hearing about it or newer to the church or just hadn't made up your mind yet, we still invite you to that. You're still welcome to jump in. And you can do that on the website and in the app. And, of course, any of our leadership will be happy to talk to you about that project if you're just kind of jumping in the loop.
Yeah. Speaking of some more money talk that's really exciting. Missional impact. Here's a few quick stories for you guys about what's going on in the outreach missions
Just a
department.
couple examples.
Just a couple examples. So over the last year, the missions fund has brought in nearly $145,000 to help support both local and global missions partners. And the last Sunday of every month, we usually highlight those. But sometimes it feels like there isn't enough time to highlight all that's going on. It's really, really exciting stuff. A couple that you may not know about. Through your giving, we were able to support one of our partners called Back to Back Ministries. They're located in Mexico, and we were able to send them $20,000 for them to purchase a new van because theirs bit the dust.
Just died.
And they needed one. They were in desperate need. And so we were able to get them a new van for easier commutes in their area.
And I think we joined with a couple other ministries like Summit
Yeah.
and other people to get
It's a
towards
community effort.
the final cost of that van, but it was
Really
raised
cool.
pretty quickly in response to a need, but
Yeah.
just a really cool.
And they were super grateful for that. Additionally, we were able to send $10,000 to 10 Christian Nigerian families who are experiencing persecution for their faith. So I don't know if you know a ton about the stories over there, but it's pretty nasty out there. But to be able to help them out in that way was incredible. So lots going on, not just here in the building or even in Greenville, but all over the world. We're able to use your generosity to help out so many different people. It's very
and we
cool.
give you those stories not to be like, look at us, how cool we are in the numbers, but
Yeah.
it's just, I hope you have a thankful heart. 'Cause that's your involvement, both in a giving and a serving and a praying capacity. This is the difference we're making together. And
Right.
sometimes you don't really get to hear about it, but we just want to thank you
Very
for
cool.
your generosity and ask you to continue to be faithful to give to God's work.
Mm-hmm. All right. You ready to move on to a new topic? This is fun.
Yeah.
So the sermon series we're in right now, as many of you guys know, Royalty Part 2. That's what we've been calling it. Deux? Is that French? Deux?
I don't know what that third
Deux.
one.
Deux.
Right. So we call them the third
My
one.
least favorite language.
Tre.
Tres.
Tres.
Un, deux, trois.
No, we're going
Royalty Part 3.
Trace. We're gonna
Trace.
yeah,
We're just going to switch languages. Ooh, that's frustrating. But that will be, so Part 3, Part Trace, will be starting next January, and we are going to be looking at David's son, Solomon.
Absalom.
No, not that one. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Yeah, but we're going to be looking at his son Solomon, King Solomon, and then we're going to break for Easter before we get back into. No, I'm just reading this wrong.
Well, we're breaking from.
Well,
Easter
yeah, I'm talking
next
about
week.
Solomon, but next week, Easter.
Yeah.
That's coming. We're going to break for that and then get back into Royalty Part 2, but we do want to tease what's coming in the summer. This is a big deal. You guys remember we did the 7 letters of Revelation? Well, the current thought is that we're going to finish the book of Revelation throughout the summer. And I, for one, am very excited about that.
Yeah.
It's the crazy
Don't
book.
hold us to it because there's a question mark on this. So we might get
It's a
there
medium-sized
and all
question
of a sudden
mark.
We're doing something totally different. And
Yeah.
you'd be like,
If
Johnny-
Jason was here,
Johnny
he'd be
lied
like,
to me.
actually, you know what? I'd like to talk through Habakkuk for the
So we're
summer.
going to get through most or all of Revelation
Yeah.
in just the summer.
Maybe.
I think mainly we're going to talk about just the 10 horns and what they are. Are there 10
No,
horns?
if we get
7 horns? I
Jason
don't
up
know.
there and we get Jim up there, they can talk so fast they could fit a ton in one sermon. Maybe we could do it. Who knows?
And
So,
I'm
yeah.
sure as covering that much, it's not drilling down into every detail, what we think about everything means this and
maybe
this,
not.
but it's
This
the
is
big-
what a locust is.
the big themes of all.
We
all of
could.
it. Yeah.
We could. We don't know. We're just making stuff up as we talk.
Yeah, we're not in charge of the preaching series.
I will say
per
this:
se.
what we're in charge of, we're going to sing a lot of songs during the summer. Every week, we're going to be singing songs.
We're going to
It's gonna be
keep that
great.
up as we do all the time.
We'll do our job.
We'd like to give you some latest news from the Adams Mill.
Right down the road.
6 miles down the road. I
Yep.
don't know if you drive past there. Maybe you're.
Every day I do.
If you're.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, you're
I'm
talking
doing
to
a
them?
podcast here.
Oh.
Right. So if maybe you live in a totally different part of the city and you just never have occasion to go down there,
yeah.
but there's a big fence around the whole area. and
Lots
it's
of
got,
mud.
Lots of mud inside, but it's very neat looking.
Yeah.
The fence has these, I don't know what you call a wrap on the fence.
Yeah.
It's got the name of our church and the architects,
Yeah.
and it looks very professional. It's very nice.
Except on windy days when the
It fell
whole
over
fence
one
gets
time.
3
It's-
times I've counted.
Oh,
The whole fence just blows down,
well. There's a
and
lot of
I don't
wind.
get out and fix it. I
Yeah.
wait for them to do it.
Should
But
poke some holes in that banner.
yeah,
Just
I didn't
come
want
by
to give
and
them advice. I want
and
to tell them how to
help
do
them-
their job. But
help them a lot.
yeah, it's very
So
exciting. Lots of mud, lots of trucks, lots of workers there all the time. They're getting it done.
Here's what we do know. Here's what we can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
The parking lot is being
Gone.
pretty much overhauled right
It's-
now.
yeah, it's
it was a
completely gone.
windy labyrinth when you go in there in the past.
Yeah.
You'd go in here, and all of a sudden it was like you were playing one of those mazes. You know, when you go through and you're like a dead end.
But
Like
it was
you would
the
park
maze where you have the marble and you have to.
Yeah, I
to
think
balance
I'm
it.
leaving.
So
and then
stressful.
I'm not leaving. I have
Yeah.
to turn around. So we're gonna try to fix that. I'm not in charge of that, but I think we're gonna make it a little more open.
I went down
concept.
and talked to the foreman, and I gave him some ideas.
Thank you.
I said just one huge asphalt desert, and let's just see if we can Mad Max our way to the building. And I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be very fun.
It's probably somewhere in between what used to be and what Johnny just said.
Right in the middle, a beautiful middle ground
Mad
there.
Max, probably not what we're going
Yeah,
for.
yeah. Walls are being knocked out to
Yeah.
make lots of room for kid spaces
That's
and
what demolition is.
other spaces. It's very cool. I haven't been down there yet. You've been down there.
Not so much.
No, Chandler went down there. He's been down there a few times.
Yeah.
Bunch of people. I don't think I'm welcomed into that circle yet. Maybe one day.
We don't have our hard hats, so
Yeah.
maybe soon. We don't know. We would
knows?
like to make a little of an announcement. We have made this decision, and so this is something that you can go, wow, I got some insider information here.
Yes.
So when we start, of course, we're gonna have 2 locations.
Right.
They're both located on
Highway 14.
the same road, right? So
Technically, yes.
we had some good leadership discussions behind the scene, like what are we gonna call these just to differentiate
Right.
between them easily? And so here's where we landed.
Mothership and child campus.
Small satellite thing. No, those aren't
that's
good.
that's
No,
not it. Okay,
no.
yeah, those were the wrong ideas. Those we didn't land.
So
on
this
those.
is the simplest way that we decided. And please just don't send us a lot of hate mail. I think this is good. I think
It
this
makes
is good.
sense to me.
Right. So the one that we're in right now, the established one, the regular one that's been here is going to be called Fellowship Greenville
Highway 14.
We're probably just going to call it Highway 14.
And you're probably going, well, isn't Adams Mill on Highway 14?
Right. We already know that
Yeah.
so distinctly as Adams Mill, right? That's
Yes.
why we've been talking
Well, it's
about
because
it.
the mailing address for that location is actually Adams Mill.
Thank you for that
Yeah.
interesting piece
Yeah.
of information.
There you go.
So we're going to call that new location Fellowship Greenville
Adams
Adams Mill,
Mill.
or just Adams Mill.
Adams Mill.
So pop quiz, the one down there that used to be the Y is called
There
Adams
you go.
Mill,
You did
right.
it. Wow.
And the one that's here existing closer to Pelham Road is going to be called
Mothership.
Highway 14.
Highway 14. Just kidding.
No
Yes.
ships involved.
There aren't any
of
ships.
kind.
There's no space or oceans.
That's right.
We're just on the roads.
Highway 14,
Yes.
Adams Mill. So that's kind of nice. You're making those
think
little
it's great.
decisions as we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
And to distinguish the two.
So we're
that's
still
really
like
good.
a year-ish away. We don't have
Yeah.
an exact start date.
But during that year, consider something. Just start thinking, what location are you going to want to attend to regularly? Because while I think when it first starts, everyone's going to be, we want to try it out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Want to see what the building's like and experiment and try out the new space. But where do you guys think you're going to worship regularly?
Yeah.
Because I think eventually it's going to taper out and we're going to find our spaces.
It's still early. That's a
yeah.
very preliminary discussion. But
I've already decided.
start thinking and praying about that. We just want to let you know that leadership is having great, fruitful discussions behind the scenes
Yeah.
where there's great charts and graphs and people thinking about what we should be doing at each phase. And so it's very exciting. But that's kind of our quick Adams Mill
Adams
update.
Mill update. All right, so next thing on the list is a little update on next steps of what you can do to get involved here at FG. So for those of you who've been here a while, or even if you're really new, these are just good reminders of ways that you can continue to get plugged in here on campus at Fellowship Greenville Highway 14 right now.
We just call it Fellowship Greenville
Right now, it's just Fellowship Greenville.
Yeah.
You're right. So we don't want to get too confusing. So as always, there's starting point. Matt, what is starting point? We've talked about it a lot.
Starting Point is offered every month, and it's, well, I think 10 times a year, but
It's something
let's not
like
get
that.
picky,
Yeah,
right?
we got holidays and stuff to figure out in
It's
that
about
too,
a
so,
90-minute introduction to who we are at Fellowship Greenville. So it's great for people who are newer, just coming in the door. Even if you've been here 6 months, that's where we would say you should start.
Yeah.
Go to Starting
It's like our onboarding process. Hey, welcome to our church.
It's an important thing to understand.
Here's our story. Here's who's on staff. Here's what we believe, all that kind of stuff. Then after that, go ahead and get plugged into a community through FG Community. Zach is our community group's pastor, Zach Rigsby. Awesome guy. And then we've got FG Serve, which is all the areas in which you can serve here on campus on a Sunday or throughout the week. There's a variety of opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Bible studies that you can sign up at. So all of this can be done at the Next Steps area on Sunday mornings or on the website or the app.
And if it
So,
wasn't clear, just to make this clear,
yeah,
because this is kind of newer. So there are classes now called FG Community and FG Serve. So after you go to Starting Point, that's kind of
these are the classes.
yeah, that's kind of a next step. If you filter down, you go, oh, I would like to know some people, and I would like to get involved in community. We would go, FG Community, please go there,
Go to that
and then
class,
I
sign
would
up.
like to serve here. I want to serve other people.
It's starting
kind
to
of
feel kind of like a university. We've got Community 101, Serve 202.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we got all these classes to go to, and if you don't like it, sorry, but these are great opportunities to learn about a bunch of new stuff.
These are great.
These are awesome.
I'm not 100% sure when this podcast will be released. I'm thinking next week. Yeah? Okay. I got some nods.
Yeah.
But that'll be before Easter.
Mhm.
So we want to give you just a quick reminder of
Yeah.
our Easter roundup.
Come on, guys.
And let's start with the times. Johnny is already wearing his Easter shirt.
I was
looking fantastic.
I came prepared by not doing my
Are you
laundry.
going to wear that shirt on Easter?
You know,
Can
I'm thinking of
commit to
getting a new
that?
one. I'm thinking of getting a new Easter shirt this year.
Purpley?
I'm
Or-
thinking I'm gonna go like green, seafoam green.
Okay.
Mandy was saying, we were looking on
Some
Old
could
Navy.
say that might be
No,
seafoam
this is
green.
like gross blue.
Robin egg
But
blue.
yeah, robin egg blue. But we were on the Old Navy app, and
Gross
Mandy was like,
blue.
"That seafoam green would look great on you."
That's the Crayola color.
Thanks,
Gross blue.
Gross blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk through Easter really quick.
All right.
Okay, so
We've done this pretty much every time
Yep.
we've gathered for a while,
but
but
it's still important because we have a lot
still
going
might
on.
not know.
Yeah, Good Friday, 7 p.m. both rooms.
We're gonna do one of those in both rooms at
Yeah.
7 p.m. It gives you time to, if you need to go to work that day. Some people do. It gives you some time to kind of decompress, get some dinner.
Yep.
Come at 7 p.m. That's a very thoughtful communion service, obviously centered around the sacrifice of Christ on the
Right.
cross. A little more pensive.
We're gonna take communion.
Yeah, but very special.
Yeah,
Very special.
we always love those services. And then Saturday, we have 2 services. So Saturday's March 30th. It's my birthday. I'm turning 36 that day.
It's your birthday?
Yep. We have 2 services at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. also in both rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So those are going to be available. And then as usual, Easter Sunday, our 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. services in both rooms as well.
And we would probably ask our regulars if you would consider Saturday service. Like if you have no reason not to move from Sunday morning, to provide some room for people that might just be coming out of the community or people that are inviting guests.
Yeah.
Consider that Saturday time, 4 and 6. That would really help.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about investing and inviting. What do those two
Yeah.
words mean, Johnny, in relation to Easter, and how can people do that?
So the inviting is pretty single faceted. Just invite someone, get them here. So that's
If you can't
coworkers.
understand that, we can't help you.
Single faceted. That's a common thing people say. I say it daily.
How does one invite someone to Easter? Like what would someone say?
It's usually pretty simple. So I sent an invite to our neighbor this morning and said, "Hey, if you wanted to join us for Easter, here are all the times we have available. Just let us know. We'd love to have you come. No pressure, but just a little invite."
That's good.
And what I'm finding is that for Easter specifically, people are generally open to the idea. They're like, "Yeah, that's kind of a thing you do in the South."
You
know?
may
So,
you may say to your coworker, you'd be like, "Hey Bob,
hey Bob,
I go to a church called Fellowship Greenville. I don't know if you're going anywhere on Easter, but if you're interested in joining
Yeah.
our family, we have Saturday services at 4 and 6 or Sunday morning. Let me know. We'd love to.
Yeah.
We'll have you over for a nice ham dinner afterward."
I'll tell you an easy invite is a definite win if your parents invite your kids and then force them to get in the car and then come to Easter. There's 3 right there for me.
So you're inviting your kids.
Yeah.
as the
And you
parent?
go, "Hey, I'd like to invite you to the Easter service," and then they
That's
come.
not what we're talking
That
about.
doesn't count. Coworkers, neighbors, friends, family. There's so many options.
What's a
So,
way
yeah,
you could invest
invite
in
them.
the weekend as a regular of
Yeah, so
Fellowship
this is a
Greenville?
little more multifaceted,
Mm-hmm.
not a single facet. Lots of facets. So investing could be as simple as praying over the weekend, asking the Lord that He would show His favor, not just in energy levels for people who are serving, because it's going to be a long weekend, but primarily in that people would come to know Jesus, because this seems to be a weekend where that invitation happens a lot, not just in the sermon, but you might have an opportunity to speak to those that you invite, so that those conversations would go well and that the Lord would show His favor. Another way to invest, Matt already alluded to this, but serving on that weekend in some way, even if it's just choosing to attend the Saturday service so that you can open up some seats on Sunday morning, that would be great. Or serve on Sunday morning and go to the Saturday,
Yeah.
you could do that as well.
Could you give your whole weekend to this endeavor of Easter? Like,
Yeah.
if it's free, you go, hey, go to Next Steps. Put me where you need me on Saturday. I'll serve then because I'm coming on Sunday morning with friends, or flip flop that. Like, yeah, just think outside the box a little bit for this big weekend.
We'll be there right there with you. So
That's right.
yeah.
My wrist will be
Matt will be praising
fell
God.
off
He'll be
on
praising
Sunday
God
morning.
with his wrist.
Yeah.
I'll have my Henley buttoned right up to the throat.
And I would
Yeah.
like to just give a little encouragement to the parents, and this is right at me too. Let's be excited about Easter weekend in regards to what it means to our faith, and
Yeah.
pass that on to our kids. Like, there's very fun traditions. I know the Easter egg hunts and wearing the beautiful clothes. Like, that's a part. Any holiday comes with its part of different
Festivities
things.
and traditions and
But
whatnot.
let's talk to our kids about what the true meaning and the excitement of Easter is. So I know that's a challenge in all of our lives. I was convicted a few years ago about that when, one of my kids was like, "It's my favorite holiday because I get to eat Cadbury eggs." And I was like, we should probably emphasize
What about the resurrection of
a
Christ?
little bit more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's the quote that Paul says? He says, basically, if it weren't for the resurrection, we would be considered fools.
our faith
because
would be in vain.
everything is contingent on this holiday. So it's extremely important. Yeah, celebrate it and have fun with it.
But speaking of candy, Johnny,
Yeah.
what candy makes you most excited on the Easter holiday? Like something that it only comes around Easter
no,
time.
all the Easter candies that only come around on Easter
You
are
reject it.
gross to me. Cadbury eggs make me nauseous. Peeps, marshmallows in general are nightmares for me. I don't like them at all.
They're nightmares.
Yeah, nightmares, nightmares. But Reese's cups are
Yeah,
always good.
Reese's.
But Reese's.
I think just Reese's.
Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces. But for some reason, when they come shaped as an egg,
So much better.
just like Mama used to make, it is so good.
The original cups, the hard
Yeah, with the ridges.
edge, right? There's
Yeah.
too much chocolate. When
Yeah.
you get like a football
It's just
shape,
that- oh yeah,
it's
man.
so much more
I've
peanut butter.
already had 4 this season. I had
haven't had
4.
any.
I had 4 in one sitting the
Because
other
my
day.
son eats them all as soon
Yeah,
as they come
you
in the
gotta
house.
Pocket them.
Yeah, I can't
Save
find
them for nap time.
So I know when you talk about Cadbury eggs, you might be thinking of the cream egg, which is the bigger one.
Is
with-
that not what that is?
Well, Cadbury also makes just a chocolate egg that has like a candy coating shell, and I think those are marvelous.
Oh, those are gross too.
What?
I'm not
It's
trying
a
to. I'm not
wonderful
trying to be a.
chocolate with a great
I don't know.
little
That
candy
shell is. I think they poured them like 8 years ago, and they keep them in a factory, and then they're just like selling them later.
Get out.
No.
I'll finish this by myself.
Okay. What about the huge hollow bunnies?
I'm not a fan.
Okay, thank you. Give me that because
Ow!
they're just
Kidding.
yeah,
I'm fine.
easy. It's just the grossest chocolate you've ever had.
Yeah.
This was a good talk.
Yeah. So we're like, parents, tell your kids it's about more than candy.
Yeah,
Let's talk about candy for 5 minutes.
Are there? Well, let's keep going. Do you have any traditions as a family that are abnormal from normal Easter traditions? You do the ham. You do Easter baskets.
I think so. Well,
Are you the father of your home?
Yeah.
Do you know what goes
we
on?
had for a long time. It's a busy weekend for church musicians. You know that. So we don't have a lot of time for.
I do know
It's our
that.
tradition to go to the park for the Simpsonville
Yeah.
Easter egg hunt. Like
The
there's
helicopter
candy
drop.
that
Have you
is-
been there? for
There's
that?
candy that is given. I know that,
Yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
100% sure if it's like in these baskets that are hidden around the house,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
the helicopter drop. Is that
have you
still
ever been
happening?
to Heritage Park? Well, whatever it's called now. Yeah, they do like
It's called Heritage Park.
well, no, I think it's called. Oh, it used to be the charter. Whatever.
Yeah, it
anyway,
is.
yeah, it's like this big helicopter drop. A ton of eggs get dropped over the baseball field, and the kids go nuts. I've seen 4 kids get hurt where they're just trampled. And I was like, this can't be the best way to celebrate this glorious holiday.
Well,
But, you know, there's other options. Stay safe, kids.
Yeah.
It's dangerous out there. Are you ready to move on?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's move on to our final point here. Baptism service.
Okay.
All right. So this is coming up. If you or one of your family members have made a first-time faith decision to trust in Jesus and they haven't been baptized or they want to do so, you can sign up for our next baptism class. It's another class, and we love them. We love these classes. And go ahead and mark it down. It's on May 19th. Put it in your calendar, as that will be our next Missions and Baptism Sunday. So is the class happening on May 19th, or is the service on May 19th?
I need a little clarity.
The service is on May 19th.
So the class is going to be backed up 2 weeks.
Before that,
Yeah.
at some other time. Look on the website.
All the
Yeah.
info there will be accurate on the
Yeah.
website and app. So.
Now, they do have to go to this class
Mhm.
in order to be baptized.
Yep.
Yep.
We just want to walk you through what it means because we have so many people from different backgrounds.
Right,
We want
yeah.
to make sure we're on the same page and help you craft a little bit of how to tell your story in a few
Yeah.
paragraphs because that's
These,
some of the best part of
yeah,
it.
these Sundays are some of my favorite of the entire year
Absolutely.
because it's just stories of what God has done in people's lives. And there's always so much celebration. Usually there's a lot of their family that gather up beside them, and it's just really, really cool.
When
So
were you baptized, Johnny? Have you ever been
yes.
baptized?
So I came to
Are
faith
we,
in
are we okay? We have some time? Okay.
Yeah. I came to faith in Jesus in the 7th grade after Todd Milby preached on Romans 8 at S3M. That was Southside Student Ministries.
Mhm.
And shortly after that, my dad realized that none of me or my 3 brothers had been baptized yet. So we decided we're all going to do it together. And I don't remember where this was, but it was like a huge pond at someone's property who was in my parents' small group. It was a little muddy, but it felt just like the Jordan River. And my dad got to baptize all 4 of us that day, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Great memories with that. How about you? Have
I
you
was
been
a young-
baptized yet?
I was a young tyke. Yeah, I was
4?
5.
Oh,
yeah.
whoa.
I was raised in a tradition where it was pretty much like when you made a profession of faith, they were like,
Immediately.
hey, how about next Sunday night after
Yeah,
the service?
okay.
We have the baptism right behind us. We just open it up and we
Oh,
do.
so it was like in the wall
Yeah,
with the glass.
We do a couple of those. So I don't
Nice.
have a clear recollection of the event, as a lot of my childhood memories.
You
are,
remember that
but
video of that kid jumping in?
cannonball.
he like dives or like belly flops in. They're like, next we'd like to welcome Ryan. And he's just like, oh.
I can't wait.
One of my
It's a
kids is going to do that for
self-baptism.
sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's
Yeah.
coming up soon. And if you've been thinking about that or praying about it as a next step, we'd love to help you walk through that. But the class is in early May and the service is on May 19th. So
Yes.
just a few reminders from what we've talked about today. We'd love to have you invest in serving and invite somebody for the good news of Easter weekend.
Single faceted, multifaceted.
Single and multifaceted.
Yes.
That's right.
Lots of ways.
And just as you go about your week, let's consider making a habit of expressing gratitude for
Yeah.
all Christ has done for us in this season, praying for those around you, and of course, continue to read Scripture faithfully, be a part of a CBR group as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can find all this in the church app and
Yes,
the
you can.
website, of course. And thanks, Johnny, for joining us today. I think you
Glad.
did a great job.
I think I did a good job. Maybe better than Jason.
No, not at all.
No? All right.
Very good, but not as good as Jason.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in and joining
See
us.
you later,
See you
everybody. Be careful with your wrists out there.
And the egg drops that happen
Cruel world.
could get trampled.